Hello everyone, today we are going to go over CSS. This is for HTML. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. It is used to apply styles and colors and fonts and whatnot to text. It can be used to format the layout of a web page. With CSS, you can control color, font, size of text, and the spacing between elements, how elements are positioned and laid out, what background images or background colors are to be used, different displays for different devices and screen sizes, and much more. The word cascading means that a style applied to a parent element will also apply to all the children elements within the parent. So, if you set the color of the body text to blue, all headings, paragraphs, and other text elements within the body will also get the same color scheme, unless you specify something else. So the parent element would actually be your cascading style sheet, and your children elements would be basically all the paragraphs and text and elements within your website. Now, you can add CSS in three different ways. You can put it inline, which isn't really parenting anything, because it only applies to that one certain line. It can be internal by using a style element in the heading section, which then it would apply to all text within the cascading style sheet. Or it can be external by using a link element to link an external CSS file. And this will end up being your assignment for this module. This is pretty cool. You have a cascading style sheet in the same folder where your HTML document resides, and all of the specifications that you put in that CSS file will be applied to that website. They'll be linked. Also, if you have an external file, it can be used on other websites as long as the formatting, is compliant. Okay, let me see here. So, on the Try It Yourself section, you can see you have all your normal tags. And for heading 1, your style is the color of blue. And I can change that to red or whatever I want, and it will work. The style for the paragraph, and you can see this is a small paragraph, but here's your open tag and here's your close tag. So this is a paragraph. They made that color red. Okay, but, once this closed paragraph tag happens, this style is stopped right there. That's the end of it. So a lot of times it's better to put everything in the heading, and you'll see how to do that. Okay, so internal CSS. It can be used on a single HTML document. Like I said, external can be used for multiple, but internal can only be used on a single one. The internal CSS is defined by the head section of an HTML page within a style element. The following example sets all the text color of all the H1 elements in that page, to blue, and the text of all the paragraph elements to red. In addition, the page will be displayed with a powder blue background color. So let me explain how all this is working. You need your style tags to do this. Open tag style and close tag style. And then these tags go within your body. I'm sorry, within your heading. So here's open heading and here's close heading around your style tags. So within your heading, you're specifying that the body, this area here, has a background color of powder blue. That's this color. H1 has a color of blue, and P has a color of red. Now, let's just say we created a second H1. Look what happens when you run it. The style applies to everything around H1 tags. So if you have this broken up into sections with different headings, they would all be blue unless you changed it. But using a style this way will apply to the entire page, and that's the idea here. External style sheets are used to define the style for many HTML pages. To use an external style sheet, you add a link in the heading section of the page. So let's take a look at this. This is linking your style sheet to styles.css. So this style sheet is in the same folder as the actual web page itself because they used a relative link right here. This is not an absolute link. So there's your heading and there's your paragraph once again. But where are the specs for this? What is it saying? Red and blue and powder blue. It's actually in a separate sheet. So here it is. Here's what they wrote. Now let me show you how to do this. In order to get this to work, you have to go to Notepad, paste it, go to File, Save As. Now you're used to saving things as .html files, but in this case, you have to save it as a .css, and it has to be placed in the same folder as your HTML document. And then the next step after that, you already saw, would have been to link it within your document. Now, we've only played with colors so far, but you can do fonts and sizes, and there's other styles that you can use. So, within H1, we have the color of blue. Here is our font family, and here is our font size. And then here's your close flag. So anything within the H1 commands, or H1 flags I should say, will have this style applied. Same with the paragraph. They put 3 different ones in there. So anything with the P commands around it will have this style. And I guess I should show you that. So if I put this here, the second paragraph has the same exact styles applied, and it comes from here. Okay, so you can also add a border. So this paragraph will have a border around it. Well, they did it 3 times. They put the border style up here in the paragraph tag and used it 3 different times. 1, 2, 3. And you can play with this a little bit. It is 2 pixels, solid powder blue. Let's make it 8 pixels and see what happens. It got thicker. So make sure as you're running through this W3 Schools, you are, pausing the video and playing a little bit and seeing what else you can make happen. Okay, now the padding here, so you have the border command, and then the padding is 30 pixels. That is the distance between the border and the paragraph. So let's change it to 15 and see what happens. There's now less space between the border and the characters. Now the margin defines the space outside of the border, meaning between this paragraph and this paragraph. So if I change the margin to 25, you can see that they're all a lot closer, and they've also moved closer to the left-hand side. We've already seen how to link to an external sheet. Oh, they're using an absolute link here. That's the difference. So you can go online and look up style sheets that are available, and you can link to them this way, and they'll be, on somebody else's server and somebody else's, computer. So if you're going to link to one within the same folder or within the same site, you do not need the HTTPS www dot. You can just link it this way. Okay, this example links a style sheet located in the same folder. I might have said this wrong. It's not in the same folder, it is in a subfolder. So it'd be like if my website was on my desktop, I'd have another folder on my desktop, that had the style sheet in it. Okay, chapter summary. Use the HTML style attribute for inline styling. Use the HTML style element to define internal CSS. Use the HTML link element to refer to an external file. Use the heading element to store style and link elements. The color property changes the color. The font family and font size, border, padding, and margin are all pretty obvious. So try this exercise, but your assignment is going to be to create a cascading style sheet, and you may want to, is this it? Here it is. Notice it's called styles.css. You may want to copy this, and then you can change different things. Now, I want to show you one more quick thing. You can put more than one style. Let's just say for our heading, and I think we did kind of touch on this. Oh, I gotta go to try it ourselves. Well, whether it's in a style sheet or in the website itself, you can add more by just pasting after the semicolon or typing it in manually. And when you run it, did you see the size of the heading change there? So you can add as many of these as you want. You can do color, size, style. You could put a border in here. It doesn't matter. You could go on, until you've literally delegated every single possible style. So, back down here to the chapter summary. And here are your style tags. So your assignment then, well, I'll give you an assignment description, is to make a style sheet and link it to your website, and then send me a screenshot. Just do the best you can to show me your style sheet, some of your code, and the final outcome of your website.